I think I earlier mentioned punk rock, but actually it's new wave, and that encompasses a lot more. Lonnie Lardner is here to present part one of the series. When I think of punk rock or new wave, I automatically think of orange hair, the mohawk hairdo, the weird clothes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes and no. There's a little of that in Nashville right now. Mostly that's in London. It's really crazy in London. They've got blue hair and orange hair and shaved hair and so forth. There's a little of that here. The women even are shaving their heads slightly here, and it's a real kind of close look. But there's a more progressive look here, as one hairdresser told me. It's not quite as severe, and it doesn't make you shocked, and it doesn't make you stare.
Thus new wave instead of punk.
Yeah, punk is the wild version, the real violent, angry type version. And in the piece tonight, you'll be seeing the roots of punk and how it came across the ocean and became new wave. And in Nashville, it's very interesting. There's a little cult, it seems, a small group of people that really is attracted to the new wave sound, and then there's a new sound now called new music. And the new music is also a watered-down version of new wave. And what's interesting is this cult that was attracted to new wave music, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, doesn't like the fact that the masses are attracted to this new sound. So they're going to go off and probably find something else to be attracted to. It's almost an elitist thing with this small cult.
So in other words, you're going to not only talk about the music, but the people involved as well.
Yeah, the look and the sound as well. Okay. And today we'll show you the look. Today we begin a series on a movement created by, well, the flower children's children. And it is a trend that has borrowed from the 50s, 60s, and 70s for its look and its sound. It has arrived in Nashville, and as it has in other American cities. It is considered cool by some, repulsive by others, and mere Saturday night dress-up for those who don't take it real seriously. Here's a look at the look in part one. Some observers say it all started overseas in the mid and late 70s, specifically London, where styles still reflect rebellion and an anything-goes philosophy. I am an antichrist. Punk rock groups like the Sex Pistols represented an angry youth. As one author put it, youngsters who couldn't find jobs to buy a future could buy safety pins to pierce their cheeks and society's dignity. A few years later, when the punk scene established a small cult following in the States, it faced more resistance, this time from parents.
I just can't understand how a group of young people can even walk around looking that way. Yeah. My goodness, if you don't go to work like everybody else, get up in the morning, you know, and just be a good citizen and help other people and be a good Christian, you're accomplishing absolutely nothing. I would not allow any of my kids to walk out the door looking that way. But I don't expect my kids to go running around like
they want the same thing. If they're going to get into something, they want the same
their
thing
taxes like the rest of us and help everybody else and the people that need it. Hey, listen, kids, get with it, clean yourselves up, and go to work.
That rough, tough punk look, very bold, very irreverent, was embraced by some young Americans for a time, and it still is to some degree. But observers of the fashion and music industries now say that punk rock and all its trimmings stayed in the proverbial closet, only to come out in drag as something called new wave. And to some, that metamorphosis meant money. Are you in it for the bucks?
Well, I have to admit I am.
And Jim Baker's new wave clothing business is thriving, he says. Here are some samples of the new looks he says are in.
Just create a change and shock people. Shock value is what they are really wanting to do.
Jim says his new wave customers want to stand out, be individuals. So these styles, some borrowed from pure punk, some borrowed from the 50s and 60s, are what can guarantee a stare.
You want somebody to notice you, you want to look tough.
And looking tough means lots of leather, chains, and bullets.
There are a lot of people out there that say they don't like new wave, but They didn't like bell bottoms. They didn't like disco. They didn't like bebop and boogie woogie and flappers
This new look we're talking about does not necessarily have to be bought new. Some bargain hunters are discovering their identities in very old places, seeking out that one-of-a-kind thing, because being different is what it's all about. That is why 20-year-old Amy Barnes and Lori George shop at the Vintage.
It's just fun because people don't understand, and it makes them think and makes them wonder, rather than just everybody blending in, everybody trying to wear the same kind of clothes and spending a whole lot of money to do that. And I think I'm an individual, and I like to show it.
Newness, a difference, a freshness, sort of breaking the norms, you know.
Breaking the norms is becoming more normal, you might say, and at least according to the experts, a little less violent. The wave seems to be progressing out of the destructive into a more creative mode. The new wave appears to be based on what every generation demands, an identity that can be shared individually.
These obviously aren't 9 to 5 people. What do they do for a living?
Some of them are.
Really?
There are closet punkers, as Jim Baker.
Closet punkers.
Yeah, that, you know, and they'll go into this store and they'll be wearing 3-piece business suits, the owner of the store says, and they'll go and buy some punk clothes, and on the weekends or Saturday night, they'll go and dress up. There was one real hardcore punker, a young girl I met over at Cantrell's Club one night, who said that her impression of New Wave, and she's rejected the whole idea totally because now that New Wave is in, she doesn't want it. She said New Wave is Nashville's version of the Valley Girl.
Oh.
And that's interesting, too.
Do these people enjoy being stared at?
Yeah, that's the point. A lot of these, I want to say kids, but some of them are in their 20s, like to make the statement, look at me, I'm different, I'm an individual. And they reject the music and the look of their older sisters or older brothers' generation. So they're finding their own identity, and that's what this series is about, in music and in the look.
And throughout the rest of the week, what are we going to find out about New Wave?
Well, we'll meet, there's a few interesting stories. The music that's being played on the radio and the music that's being played in the clubs, we'll take a look at that. It's a little loud for me. Now, I almost feel that there's a generation gap, you know, between them and me. It's only a few years difference, but I'm wondering if that's what my parents felt when the Beatles came out and the Stones and all that. They might have felt the same way. But it's only a few years, so I'm
only a few.
Yeah, right. We'll also be meeting a young man who plays with Jason and the Nashville Scorchers. They're a new music band in town. And his parents were raised on country music. He was raised on country music. His parents played all over Europe in country bands. And here we cut from his parents playing country music to him doing splits and acting wild on the stage. And it's really kind of neat to show how the generations evolve.
A fun and interesting look at New Wave.
Yes. More through Thursday.
Great. Thank you, Lonnie.
Okay.
Stick around for that all this week here on Channel 4 Magazine, and we'll be back with more right after this.